Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. Aloha, everyone. What show is this? This is the IoT Coffee Talk. I'm here on the Big Island in Hawaii with the sun in my face and my transition lenses just completely going dark on me, and I can't even see the screen in front of me, which is ridiculous. That's not how we started the show, but
it's working.
Anyways, yeah. But hey, guys, what's up?
Aloha to you. Lots of stuff going on. Lots of stuff coming from the reInvent event. That's still happening, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, reading
started, man.
Yeah. And then, picking apart the stuff that you and your pals are sharing from Qualcomm, and still digesting stuff from last week. So lots going on in the IoT-ish container cloud realm.
Yeah.
Private 5G.
There you go.
Private 5G.
And mahalo to everyone joining our session today. I know I wish I was on the big island of Hawaii with Leonard right now. That looks amazing. Yeah. It looks like
the frigate. It's
like the anti-Pacific Northwest is what it looks like to me.
It is pretty much.
And so that means I like
it. Guys, actually, I'm in the friggin' metaverse, man.
Yeah.
This is the metaverse. Yeah. Hang over the sun, the beach, the background, the palm trees.
You had
this is really the people in the background, the Qualcomm people in the background.
Yeah. Well, so I guess I read one of the press releases from Qualcomm about the new Snapdragon.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff. I'm not going to get into details about it, but it's they just keep getting better and better, and all these chips are becoming the tooling, the development kits, the SDKs, and all that stuff are just starting to gel, But there's a lot. Let's put it this way: there's a lot that the Android ecosystem can look forward to. It's not just the chip, right? It's all the other stuff that's evolving as well, which is really cool.
Yeah. That whole chipset, that whole thing you get with Snapdragon. So whatever it is, Series 8, version 1, whatever they're calling it now, if they changed the number.
I think it's 8 Gen 1. That's
8 Gen 1, okay.
A number and then a generation for that number. And they're really focused on premium. They're not talking too much about the 700 and the lower generations or the less premium generations as much. So
when we see the next version of Samsung's flagship Galaxy devices, it'll probably be running this new Snapdragon in it for ultra high-end phones. Is that a fair statement? Probably.
You know what? They'll probably. You can just assume so.
Yeah. No, but I was reading it. I mean, you're right. It's faster CPU, crazy GPU. I guess it's doing ARM9 now.
Yeah.
Talked a lot about video and camera capabilities, which is always important to folks buying smartphones. Pretty amazing stuff.
They're really the camera functions, right? The capabilities are pretty impressive. They're doing some pretty crazy stuff with the compositional photography and using the 3 ISPs that they have, and some there's the fourth one that they're adding is it's one for always on camera. But they have some AI enabled, functions that allow the capture of instead of, let's say, 5 images to do composition, or what do you call it, computational photography. You can take, I think it's up to 30, some crazy number like that. So there's a lot of compute power. Behind a single push of the shutter button. So, but it's amazing. Think about it. All the stuff is going to have benefit for the IoT, as far as the vision systems that we can develop these endpoints, as well as what do you call it, the AI capabilities. All these compressed, quantized, and just really optimized AI functions.
Yeah.
So there was, I'll write about some stuff that you guys can read later on, but yeah, there's some really interesting things that these guys are doing in conjunction with some of their partners. So, yeah.
That's great. It sounds like David and I are in the wrong business, because if we were in the right business, people would be flying us to Hawaii.
Yeah. I mean, I did get invited to a coffee in Santa Clara, but I got to drive to that too. But yeah, no one's flying me anywhere.
Yeah. I have no comment. My brain is like starting to shut down. This is like really horrible. I'm like getting too relaxed.
Too much of a good time, but that's good.
Maybe you should just stay there throughout the whole through the winter.
Man, you know what? We are happy for you. This also shows commitment that you're a couple of hours west in the middle of the beautiful Pacific. And we're still doing this. I mean, we are more consistent than, I don't know, fill in the blank.
Right? So let's explain something to our audience. We do this because, number one, we don't give a shit about money. That's important.
Clearly.
And number two, of course, we don't care about applying best practices for vlogging or whatever the hell this stuff is called. We're just friends who enjoy literally having a coffee talk, and we don't care. And I learn so much from you guys. You don't even know. I should probably credit you guys on every single one of my little reports and things that I do, but it's great to have organic conversations with people, and we lack that a lot in our industry. It's so flooded with BS.
Rob and I expect a Mai Tai delivered around 5:00 Pacific today. So make it happen if you're that thankful.
Yes, as part of us being credited in your reports, we need a slice of that love.
Yes, please. Something tangible and non-fungible. Okay.
I'll send you an NFT of like an emoji, like a friggin' Mai Tai emoji. How's that?
I'm just going to do an NFT.
It'll be authentic.
An NFT of you right here with that backdrop, dude. That's amazing. I couldn't be more jealous.
That's worth money. But hey, and my favorite, switching gears a bit, my favorite thing from the event these past couple of days was their private 5G announcement. Now it's in preview, so it's not like there's tons of details, but from what I could gather, you can now go to AWS, and this is like getting another service. This is no different than getting Greengrass or Wavelength, or it's like, okay, I'll take a private 5G while we're at it, with X amount of radios, I'll, give it to me on CBRS, and in typical AWS fashion, they're like, hey, no CapEx, here, just easy to buy.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, really, really good for everyone that has something to offer in the private 5G business, because AWS is paying attention to, so it must be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, my whole take on it is let's see what happens. But by the way, who are they partnering with for all? I mean, because
I don't know. They act like they're doing it all themselves, but I'm sure they're partnering with somebody.
There has to be a partner, but I know there's some of the.
It's not Helium. It's got to be like Federated Wireless.
I doubt it, but some of the use cases or the customers that they mentioned were. I think they were
mean.
No, look.
I mean,
I think there was like a Coke Industries example, but Coke, I think that they own Mavenir. So, again, I don't know. Is there something that I don't know? I was just trying to extrapolate.
You mean Coca-Cola?
No, Coke.
Coke Industries. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell are you talking about, man?
Yeah.
No, not Coca, not the soda maker.
Cola.
The other Coke.
The other
Right.
Coke with a K.
You know, it's kind of a weird deal when you see that, because you're imagining they'll make it easy, and you're right. Hey, I want private 5G at my factory in Kansas, in this area, and I'm just going to go online and Amazon, and magic's going to happen. They said we're going to ship you the gear. I assume they're just going to magically handle the CBRS stuff to give you a bit of spectrum in that area, and all that's going to happen. And for those of us who are in that business selling private 5G now, we're kind of like, oh, well, welcome to the party. Yes. And maybe a little bit of, oh, shit.
Yeah, you know, just a little bit.
It could be a little bit of shit, or wait until these guys see what this is like. Yeah. Let them get a taste, and then maybe they'll learn something. I don't know. I think it's a little bit of that. You know, just because you're a big company and you have a reputation for being quote unquote innovative doesn't mean that you don't learn through certain types of ventures and efforts. So we'll see how it works out.
Luckily, the science and physics cannot be forgotten. So
nor the hardware.
Well, and it's I absolutely believe that they can deliver the hardware and the radios through whoever they're partnering with. But curious, who's doing like the RF design in this factory in Kansas, right? And also, I think the regulators mandate for all of us in this realm that you have like an FCC resource, making sure that, I don't know, things are okay with the spectrum, so that altimeters and other things, don't start falling out of the sky.
Planes.
And I think where it gets, and here comes the bias comment. What happens when the differentiator for a particular customer, for a particular deployment, is the spectrum? What happens when someone wants it for coverage versus latency, right? And this is going to push the, hey, here's everything that you can do with CBRS and unlicensed, and it's freaking awesome. And then it's like, oh no, for that you're going to need like sub-6 or another spectrum. So I think this will push this out, and we're going to see what the evidence is.
Yeah, I mean, the way I kind of look at it is, I mean, well, here's the thing. The reason why the rest of the industry might have to be concerned is this could just be they could just make this a loss leader to sell through edge computing. They make money off of the edge computing. So maybe they bundle all the stuff together, and they go full stack. Then that's where people have to, kind of go, oh, okay, yeah, they're really changing the game. That they might just completely take a lot. It's not a moneymaker for them. They do that already with the retail business, right? For the most part. So, yeah.
Well, if I ever see private 5G on Prime Day, I'm out. I'm just out.
Yeah, you're pretty screwed, man. If that's happening, you're a vendor, you're an SI. But yeah, they have such a solid SI game. Like SI partnerships. I mean, they've really done a great job of emulating like some of the old school or even current day SI relationships that like Oracle and SAP have. So, this is a weird one, right? Because a lot of the SIs have no idea how to do this stuff, and they're trying to build the chops to deal with the network side of stuff. So, I don't know. I think, they have definitely what it takes to make this stuff a thing, or just an enabler of something that's more important for them. But then it's definitely something to watch, because how these guys basically use their leverage is going to be very interesting.
Yeah. Hey, just as a quick aside, I was at a restaurant last night.
Oh, dude.
That's fast.
Oh.
I was in a freaking restaurant in Woodinville, Washington, which is next to Redmond and outside of Seattle. And I was like, wow, that's some serious download speed there. Woo.
Yeah. But hey, it's all upload is just as important.
It's all about the uplink.
Yeah.
Man.
No, it's just cool when you see some mid-band love, you know?
Yeah. As a consumer is great. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm just like, I just posted something. I was like, I think that restaurant should consider just turning the whole restaurant into a co-working space.
Oh, yeah.
Because, and all you need is just one phone and then connect it to your internal router and switch in the company, and boom. Oh, we were going to pay a lot of money to, you know, Comcast or whoever to get cabling in here, but nah, 5G for the win.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I just accidentally looked at your background again there, Leonard. I really need to be in Hawaii. I really need to be there. I'm feeling it. I feel like everybody spend the entire winter there.
That's an idea.
Yeah.
It looks so good, man.
This is a good spot to be in at this time of year, especially if you're on the East Coast or in your neck of the woods, quite literally.
Yeah.
Sasquatch land.
Yeah.
You live in Sasquatch land, right? You know?
Yeah.
That's like friggin' Bigfoot territory.
I think I saw him across the street from our house. Yeah. Yeah.
I almost dropped my compost yesterday because there was this big buck running down the street and it just scared the bejesus out of me. And,
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Live on the edge of the forest. It's great.
Yeah. That's what happened. Yeah. And then, hey, did you take a look at that? Hey, Roger, what's up? Did you take a look at that? What do you call it? Is it the Twinmaker or whatever?
Yeah. I read a little bit about it. Obviously, they're diving into that space because they see opportunity. You know, it's funny. I was commenting with someone. Obviously, I'm participating in a digital twin conference right now in the energy space. I have just noticed, and maybe you've noticed this too, a term digital twin, which you'd hear every once in a while. I feel like I'm reading and hearing about it every day.
Yeah.
I just see it everywhere. And so there's a message, right? It's gone from this kind of fringe obscure thing that maybe some manufacturers are doing. And now everybody's talking about it. They may not know what they're talking about, but you know, like let's hype things, right? Or whatever.
Yeah.
The fact that I hear it all the time now. And so it's not surprising that Amazon's jumping in. Microsoft jumped in with their digital twins, and they've been trying to drive that whole digital twin consortium and get everybody to use their definition language and all that kind of stuff. Which I'm not a fan of having one company try to steamroll open technologies like that. So Microsoft was late to the party in digital twins. And Amazon is super late to the party. That being said, when you're a big player like that, you carry a lot of weight. And a lot of companies just like, oh, we're going to use what they are doing. Because it's like no one got fired for buying IBM, right? So that effect is real. I always think about so many partners that these companies have that do all that stuff and complement cloud services, and then how those big players go, oh, by the way, we just decided to steamroll our partners, and whatever unique thing you were doing, bye-bye. I see that all the time.
What was that thing about capitalism and winner takes all that's ringing a bell right now?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
It's tough. And so when you're a giant black hole center of gravity, you know, it's tough. It's tough. And so, you know, obviously there's always that talk track where we care about our partners and we're partner led and blah, 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 right up until they just totally roll over the partners and go, hey, because we've had this discussion before when I was saying crazy things about Apple creating a cloud because of the law of big numbers. When you're a $2.6 trillion company, it's harder and harder to have that double-digit growth. And so you have to invariably just kill your partners and go into their businesses because you got to do whatever it takes to get that growth. And so it doesn't surprise me at all to see Amazon and Microsoft do that kind of stuff.
But let's be clear. They're not, their valuation is 0.6 trillion. Oh my God. Yeah. With a T. Their revenue, has been growing in like, the sort of the low single, like double single digit, for the last few years. So it's, we have to be mindful of that, and so they don't need to really double their revenues to continue to, because valuation is a totally different beast from their actual, top line growth in their profitability. Yeah. So, it's just like, why do certain companies trade at ridiculous multiples, where they might, be valued as much as, let's say, the biggest kid on the block, yet, they have a much smaller revenue share of the market or market share. So, I think, but there's certain companies, like a company like Amazon definitely needs to expand constantly, build its top line, because the valuation thesis of that company is all about top line growth. That offsets everything. And so that's why their margins are
I'm
small.
tired of the valuation thing. We think you grab a big brand, you think about its valuation, and you demand growth, but at the same time, we had Juicero and that valuation. And it's like, well, I mean, like, come on, like, can we just relax, let the big companies, employ tons of people, and it's okay if they only, return, a small dividend, and, and they just grow, to catch up with inflation. Like, it's cool, Wall Street vultures, like, leave some for the people.
There you go. Leave some for the people.
There you go. Yeah.
Like we've talked, we've obviously read a lot recently about the great resignation that's happening as people are quitting their jobs and saying, what am I doing with my life? But we've also had last few years, the great disconnection of Wall Street from market economics and real stuff. Like it used to be, we thought the market was just going to, remember it started to nosedive right at the beginning of COVID, and then miraculously it just came out.
Hockey stick.
And you're like, well, how is that possible? And it's at some point, the market disconnected from reality. And so those forces like earnings, future revenue growth, that didn't matter anymore. Obviously, part of that is because interest rates are so low, there's no place to make money except the stock market. And of course, the Fed is printing money from their HP laser jet as fast as they can. And so it's created this craziness, right? Where
well, don't forget what is it? I don't know if it's like 9 trillion in, disaster relief. We get, that we got, that most people got, or some people got, or, so, while these companies were pretending that they were hemorrhaging, I don't think they really were, because, government, we just threw money at these companies as well. And, of course, you have to help people. Some of that happened, but it was a fraction of it seemed to have been a fraction of what was actually, spent to float some companies.
It was really shocking to me when I read the Wall Street Journal that this analyst firm, I think they're called NextCurve, got like $100 million from the government as part of the bailout.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. And somehow I also read that G6 was a complete write-off. I don't know how. I'm not a fast guy.
That's amazing.
I drive a 1996 Camry, so I can relate. But wow, I mean, NextCurve, man.
And then I saw on the cover of Forbes magazine the CEO of NextCurve just hanging out in Hawaii, like palm tree.
Really?
And he's like going, "Suck it, it, people.
And Rob, what you missed before you joined, when the CEO stepped out of the mansion, he was carried by 4 other humans.
Oh.
Yeah, the guy doesn't even walk. It's like Mark Newman sort of thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like it's neo-feudalism.
Were people like throwing rose petals out in front of you when you're walking around there in Hawaii? The huge, right? Yeah.
Who are you talking to? Who are you talking? Who are you guys talking about anyway?
Yeah. We're talking about Mr. La Jolla. All right. Good times.
Funny.
Good times.
Yeah. So, how's everything in your guys' neck of the woods, other than bucks jumping out of the fringe of the forest? And you guys doing okay?
We're doing all right, man.
Yeah, man, we're good. All things considered.
Yeah, David really hooked me up with Nike.
Really? Oh,
I don't know what you're talking about, Willis.
Okay, all right. What you talking about?
Oh, cool. All right. That sounds pretty good.
Hey, had a great Thanksgiving. Had a great Thanksgiving down in the Portland area. May have gone to places in the Portland area, and it was great. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Family, turkey, dressing, mashed potatoes, all that stuff,
Yeah.
It's really hard to keep trying to pair red wine with turkey, though,
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It is.
Tough one.
I mean, because the internet is forever. I've made a point of like I've spent what are we? I don't know. Like the week before Thanksgiving, I started like asking people that I know. I'm like, hey, are you having turkey at your table? And very few people actually said yes.
Whoa!
The ones that did, I'm like, okay, great. You're having turkey. Do you like turkey? And my sample size came back like, well, in a sandwich, if it's sliced, yes, but like turkey. So, I mean, what's with the turkey? Like, look, I'm not from this country, but I don't know that people are cooking this animal because it's a tradition, but no one really likes it. I mean, that's horrible.
I think you're on
the turkeys. Pardon all the turkeys.
Pardon all the turkeys. I think you're right, Dave. I don't think people actually like turkey, and they're just doing it tradition. If people had the option, they'd go like, "Yes, I'd like a steak, please."
Yes.
Is this like
like how many people went to the ER because they dropped the turkey into the fryer and splash hot oil?
I saw some of those videos on YouTube. Oh my God!
Or threw their back because the turkey was like 900 pounds. I mean, pardon the turkeys. Like, let the turkeys be. Like,
people are trying to find
anyone.
People keep trying to find new ways to make the turkey taste good, or actually have taste. Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of taste
and not
at all.
Dry out.
And so you're right. When you see the guys doing the hot deep fat fryer hot oil turkey thing, and the flames are shooting out all over them. What they're trying to do is make the turkey not be bland and uninteresting. And we're all bending over backwards.
The juices.
Because I have to admit, last Thanksgiving, when we were more in COVID and we're not seeing grandma's house and all that kind of stuff, we actually did something very elitist. And we ordered our whole turkey dinner from Daniel's Broiler in Bellevue and had filet mignon and mashed potatoes and wine and all that stuff. And I got to tell you, it was so much better than turkey.
and your dishwashing was down by 87%.
Boom.
Yeah. There you go.
Nice.
We saved water.
And then you did, and more importantly, you didn't have to stuff your refrigerator with leftovers that would eventually go bad.
Exactly. There were no leftovers. We ate all the steak.
I mean, and if you thought that turkey white meat was dry, try it on day 5.
Oh. That's why you're putting gravy and dressing and you're doing all that you can.
Yeah, you're usually putting dressing or sauces on things.
Yeah.
That the primary thing that you're trying to eat that doesn't taste all that great without the sauces.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you believe that it's December the 1st?
No, I can't.
Get your advent calendars, people.
Yeah, for sure. It's just blowing me away how fast time is going in the time of
2
COVID.
years, man. 2 years. It's like almost 2 years.
It's like, did it really happen? I don't know. We just like we're light speed. You know,
thinking about December and pandemic, I read an interesting data point that since when we found out about COVID, right? That was such a long time ago, that this whole time there are places in the world that either did not get vaccine supplies or the infrastructure to deliver the vaccines was not available. So basically you have pockets where help for COVID just never arrived. And fast forward 2 years later, I believe the researcher used the chickens have come home to roost, because this is how we got the Omicron thing. Like it's mutated, and it's like, but I'm like, did it have to be before Christmas? Like, could we get the new virus like Valentine's week or something? You know, like, but no, like right around Thanksgiving, before Christmas. Are you kidding me?
No, you're right. I remember reading about Omicron or the like on Thanksgiving Day.
It sounds like a transformer, like
it does.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It does. And it was like Thanksgiving Day, and then the next thing I heard was, S&P 500 futures are down, 800 points for when the market opens on Friday, and you're like, oh shit, But you're right, David. There's a lot of parts of the world that people aren't vaccinated at all. They're still waiting, and I know the head of the WHO probably hates America pretty much, especially when he hears about America giving booster shots to everybody, and he's just like, it's not fair. A lot of the world have not had their first shot yet, and you Americans are already getting your third shot,
It's a very interesting perspective, because again, if we're trying to eradicate this thing like we did with polio, like everyone's got to get it, and if some keep getting it, it's not going to go away. So and Leonard, I think you have people congregating, so we're getting a lot of either tell those people to get your team to shoo those people away. Or we got to end this.
Or we shut down this episode.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah. Are you giving me a hint? Yeah.
Hints?
Well, our millions
to take this out.
Our millions of audience members can hear all the background noise, and so we're just trying to help them.
Is it really that? I have these.
Your pods are in.
Yeah, but it should be filtering it all out. That's weird. Okay,
you know what?
Maybe it's a Zoom
thing. Get a
thing.
Refund, because it's not filtering out.
If you have ambient turned on.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, that's kind of weak, man. Hold on. Let me see if there's an option here. Nope.
It's all right, man.
On the iPhone. All right. Well, who wants to take us out?
I think you should take us out.
I should. Okay. Well, hey, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you made it this far, we really appreciate sticking with us and listening to us rant. I think there were a couple of cool things that happened before this outro. But yes, hopefully you'll have a chance to come out here to the Big Island at some point in your life. It's really beautiful. And all right, let's shut this thing down. Follow us at www.iotcoffeetalk.com, and you can mine for IoT nuggets by listening to us just kind of rant and rave about the latest and greatest stuff that we're hearing and experiencing in the world of IoT. And we will see you next week. And so once again, from the Big Island of Hawaii, what do you say? Aloha.
Aloha.
Right?
Yes.
Aloha.
And mahalo to everyone who came.
Yeah. Awesome. Take care, you guys. We'll see you.
All right.
Bye.